America has seen its fair share of controversial elections, from Bush versus Gore in 2000 to Trump versus Harris in 2024. Disputed results have pushed the nation to its limits. But what if I told you there was an election so chaotic, so bitterly contested, that it nearly tore the country apart, just a decade after the Civil War? This is the story of the 1876 US presidential election, a battle for power that led to backroom deals, political betrayal, and the death of Reconstruction. In the years following the Civil War, America was a divided nation. The North had won, but the South resisted Reconstruction. The federal government's attempt to rebuild and integrate formerly enslaved people into society. Federal troops occupied southern states to protect black citizens' rights, while white supremacist groups like the Ku Klux Klan fought back with terror and violence. By the election of 1876, Reconstruction was hanging by a thread. White Southern Democrats wanted to reclaim power, while Republicans, who had freed the slaves, were determined to keep control of the White House. The stakes couldn't have been higher. The two candidates couldn't have been more different. On one side was Rutherford B. Hayes, the Republican governor of Ohio, a former Union general and staunch abolitionist. On the other was Samuel J. Tilden, the Democratic governor of New York, a reformer who took down the corrupt political machine of Boss Tweed, but also opposed Reconstruction policies. Both men were popular, but their visions for America couldn't have been further apart. The election would become a battle, not just for the presidency, but for the future of the country itself. On November 7, 1876, Americans cast their votes. Tilden dominated the popular vote, winning by over 250,000 ballots. He secured 184 electoral votes, just one shy of the 185 needed to win, but then chaos erupted. In three key southern states, Florida, Louisiana, and South Carolina, both parties declared victory. Allegations of voter suppression, fraud, and ballot stuffing ran rampant. Republicans accused Democrats of using intimidation tactics, while Democrats accused Republicans of outright fabricating votes. The result? A deadlock that had no clear solution. With no clear winner, Congress was forced to intervene. A special electoral commission was formed, consisting of 5 senators, 5 House members, and 5 Supreme Court justices. Originally, it was meant to be a fair balance of Republicans and Democrats. But at the last moment, a swing vote from an independent judge went to the Republicans, handing all 20 disputed electoral votes to Hayes. Democrats were furious. Tilden had won the popular vote, yet Hayes was being declared the winner. The country stood on the edge of anarchy, with talk of a second civil war breaking out. Behind closed doors, Republican and Democratic leaders struck a deal, one that would forever change America. In what became known as the Compromise of 1877, Democrats agreed to accept Hayes as president in exchange for one thing: the end of Reconstruction. As part of the deal, Hayes promised to withdraw all remaining federal troops from the South. In doing so, he effectively abandoned millions of newly freed black citizens, allowing southern states to impose Jim Crow laws, segregation, and voter suppression that would last for nearly a century. Rutherford B. Hayes was sworn in as the 19th President of the United States, but his victory came at a tremendous cost. The South quickly moved to strip black citizens of their rights, ushering in the era of racial segregation. Reconstruction, the most ambitious attempt at racial equality in US history, was dead. For nearly 100 years, the effects of the 1876 election were felt across America. Segregation, voter suppression, and racial inequality became the law of the land. And all because of one election that history has all but forgotten. The Compromise of 1877 may have ended the immediate crisis, but its long-term effects still haunt America. Jim Crow laws systematically disenfranchised Black Americans, leading to almost a century of racial inequality. Even today, debates over voting rights and electoral fairness continue to spark controversy. If history has taught us anything, it's that democracy is fragile. The 1876 election was a warning. When political power is put above fairness, when backroom deals decide elections, the people suffer. What happened then could happen again. Election controversies didn't end in 1876. From Bush versus Gore in 2000 to Trump versus Harris in 2024, history has echoed through time. The past is never truly past. It shapes our present, and if we're not careful, it could determine our future. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more forgotten histories that shape our world today.